Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of the Dungeon Mechanic tutorial series. In this series today, we're going to be creating an expandable event system, whether to trigger a door opening or closing a door or spawning a collectible or anything to your imagination. If you have liked all of these videos, please do feel free to leave a like in this video and also subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started with all of our dungeon mechanics and there's more and more mechanics to come. So again, thank you very much for stopping by. Let's get into the video. This map is a little bit different than what you have seen before. That's because I've actually downloaded a free kit from Kickbash, Secrets of the Luminara, and I've added to this tutorial just to give it that dungeon look, so it fits the theme of our mechanics. To get started, first we need to create a enumeration to handle the different type of events that we will be triggering. So go to our dungeon mechanics folder, right click, and let's search for enumeration. Now we can name this E_trigger events. And inside of this, we're going to add a new numerator. And if the first enumerator is going to be open door, second one could be closed door, and third one, spawn objective. And you can continue to add more and more to this list as you like. We're going to work with these three for now. We're going to go back to our dungeon manager, and we want to add a new interface function and name this trigger event. And this trigger event is going to take an input, and this would be event type name, and then the type would be our enumerator that we just created, which is E_trigger events. Good. Now what we can do is we can go to our third person. If you have been following along with our dungeon tutorial series, when we created our first pressure plate function, we created this update plates activated function. And off of here, true, we said just open the door. Now we have that interface function, so we can actually run that interface function. So whichever door that you want to actually open, you can specify it through that interface function. To do that, we don't want to now cast to that door or do anything specifically with that door. We want to get all of the assets that's using the interface and then call the function. I'm going to drag off of this and say for each loop, we want to now trigger message. And now you have this trigger event in the message. What this does is when you step on all the 4 pressure plates, it's going to call any actor that's in the game, which has the dungeon interface implemented. And it's going to say, hey, if you have the trigger event function, run it. So we want to create a door event and then see how this works in action. Go to your content drawer, right click and create a new folder for events. Inside of this events, we're going to create a folder for all of our door events. Right click and create a blueprint class and select of type actor. We're going to name this BP_event_door_base. Inside of this, we're going to go to our class settings and implement our dungeon manager. And right off the get-go, in our interfaces, you have the trigger event. We're just going to right click and implement the event. That's all we're going to do here. We're not going to define the actual event here. We're going to define the event in the child. And also in our default scene root, we need to have a static mesh. That it would be our door mesh, which would just go up and down. And now we can close this. Now go to our content drawer and then right click and then create a child blueprint class. This one we're going to name it BP_event_door_statue. The reason I'm naming it statue is because I have actually downloaded a statue from Megascans, and this is what I'm going to be using as our door. So I'm going to select our door mesh in our child, and I will select the statue and then bring this in. And I'll bring the statue in. I'm going to go to my third person map and I'm going to drag and drop this statue door actor event here, actor BP. Of course, that's really small. So I'm going to make this into lock this. Make sure you lock the scale so it updates all the axes when you update one. I'm going to make this like 5. If I go in game, that looks pretty good. Let me rotate it really quickly. So blocks the entire way. Let's make it like 4.5. Alrighty. So now what we want to do is we want to trigger that event. Now, before we trigger the event, we want to assign a specific ID for this door, the specific statue door, so that when we call in the event, we know which exact door we want to open and close. For that, we're going to go back to our parent, base and create a variable and call it event ID. Name this integer and save. Now this event ID can be called using our interface as well. So we're going to go back to our interface and we're going to add event ID here as well. So whenever the function gets triggered, if back up my third person blueprint, now I have an event ID. Now I can choose a number and call in that event. And whichever door corresponds with that event ID number will now trigger the event. That's the logic that we're going to be using. In our base, let's make sure that this is instance editable and expose on spawn. And we can actually refresh this and that would be good. There you go. You won't have that error. Now in our statue, we're going to go ahead to our interface and then right click and implement event. In here, first what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if the event ID and the ID of this statue is the same. For that, we need to first assign the ID. So let's assign this to 1, compile and save. We're going to get our event ID and we're going to say if this event ID equals to the ID of this door, then we're going to go ahead and proceed with the rest of the function. If it doesn't, don't do anything. This is how we're going to restrict all the doors from activating or not activating. We want to get our event type and then run whichever event that we want it's calling out. So when I drag off of this, I can do a switch function. Off of this switch function, off of true, because if the event ID that is called out for is the same as this door, and if it is true, we want to do something. This specific door, I just wanted to open, not really close. So I'm going to work off of the open door function, but in your game, you would just use any of these other functions in your enumeration and then build on that. For open door, I'm going to do very simple code here. So I'm going to get the door mesh and I'm going to get world location. Right click on this world location. I'm going to split it so I get my X, Y, and Z. And I want to do this over time. So I'm going to create a timeline. Door open underscore timeline. Go inside of this timeline and then add a new track, a float track, and add one key to the 0 and make this time 0, 0 and value 0 as well. And add another key anywhere because we can actually manually edit this. And I'm going to make this into the 10-second mark because I'm going to make this, I thought I made this 10. Okay, there you go, 10 seconds. So over the period of 10 seconds, I want this to go every second. I want this to go down by like 1.6 because it's going to go up and down. Off of update, we want to get our door mesh again. And we want to see set world location. We need a vector here. So we're going to right click and say make vector. We're going to leave the X as it is. We don't need to change the X. We don't need to change the Y. But the Z axis, we're going to take this off of the actual world location, add our new Z axis. And then this would be our new Z axis. And then as we go update, this is going to happen. And that's it for the function. So let's test it out and see how this goes and let's tweak it as we need. So first we need to go to a third person character and set this event ID to 1 because our door event is actually 1. So now if I go press play, I go activate this plate. Works well. Activate this one. Activate this. Last plate activating. And that will trigger the door. And you'll notice that the door is going down nice and slow. Now you can add all the effects and the tremors and everything in the screen. And you see the door is open. And then now you can go inside. And that's how you create a door function for the dungeon mechanics. Folks, thank you again for stopping by for this quick video tutorial series. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one.